Hi, welcome to Manas Shil YouTube channel. Before we start, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Let's start the video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I'll link it in the description box, or you can click here. Chapter 2. A short-lived everyday life. Troublesome demons. Really, I was hoping things would get better when you came, but it looks like I was mistaken. For some reason, he complained to me, looking very tired. I wasn't sure what he was expecting from me, but I didn't understand. Kufufufu. Why don't we just settle things here? Fortunately, Mizari and the others are getting used to setting up damage reduction barriers. So you want me and Leon to fight and settle this? Hey you, a demon lord shouldn't be doing something so unreasonable. Please do not worry. There is no need to bother Rimuru-sama, I will take care of this. Diablo's eyes narrowed as he looked at Leon. He looked at him, as if he were a predator stalking his prey. This guy might really be serious. I couldn't tell who would win, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't care. But even so, it would be out of line in many ways to allow it to happen. I'm telling you that the damage would be enormous. I thought I told you that your mission was to protect Leon, and now you're going to try and fight him. That's more than a little out of line. As I lectured Diablo, he pouted in disappointment. He didn't seem to be very sorry, but he had grown up a bit, so I let him off the hook. Tell him more, Rimuru. He's a real bastard, you know. Even yesterday, he came at me and destroyed the training grounds, even though I took it easy on him. No, I'm not so sure about that. Without knowing what caused the fight, I can't say for sure who's at fault. Or rather, you and Diablo fought. Yeah. I've been bored lately, so I've been doing some light exercising. I don't understand. So Diablo and Guy had fought, but it was incredibly hard to put into words. It seemed to have happened yesterday, so I was just glad it wasn't today. When I looked over at Leon, he was sighing very unhappily. It all started when that maid picked a fight with Diablo. She was beaten to a pulp and fled, cursing her defeat. Leon's gaze caught reins as if to say, that's the maid. No way, you've got to be kidding me. I am not a sore loser, and I didn't lose in the first place. But you don't deny that you had a fight. Your subjective opinions are not worth listening to. Leon cuts off Rain's words. It was Diablo who picked up from there. Kufufufu. As for me, I dislike bullying the weak. I let her off the hook. Didn't I tell you I'd get serious next time? Did you misunderstand me, because I took it easy on you? Did you forget that you brought Mizari to challenge me in a 2-on-1 match? Next time, I'll have to discipline you harder. While Diablo remained calm, Rain taunted her opponent, as if to encourage the other. I was worried that they were going to use force, but strangely enough, they didn't. What a pain in the ass these two are. They came to an agreement before we knew it. He said so incredulously. It seems that the quarreling was a regular occurrence, and was quite cute. They've been fighting every day for the last 2 weeks. Before we knew it, they were on the same page. Leon's affirmation lent credence to Guy's story. And if that was true, then it could be understood that the imbalance of forces had become quite troublesome. No way. What proof do you have for that kind of crap? Did you really think we wouldn't find out? In yesterday's fight, you were shouting out stuff like, fuck off, and show some more fighting spirit, Diablo. Rain tilted her head and asked curiously, but Leon replied without changing his expression. Then Guy's voice overlapped, sounding disgusted. Rain, you're revealing your true colors. I mean, you were rooting for Diablo instead of me, no way. I would never use such vulgar language, and I am Guy-sama's loyal follower. Leon-sama must be mistaken. She said that without hesitation, this person. I hadn't noticed it, while she was looking serious, but she must be the youngest, right? She's the type who doesn't think twice about what she says, or does and believes she can do whatever she wants. People who were loved by their older brothers and sisters tended to be like this. However, it was obvious which side was right after listening to all this. Diablo, how did you guys get like that? Diablo would never lie to me, so I put the question to him directly. Diablo smiled and answered. It is all thanks to the majesty of Rimuru-sama. I told Rain the story of Rimuru-sama, and she was also converted because of it. Scary. Brainwashing, is what I was about to say, but I swallowed my words. Is that so? Actually, I'm a fan of Rimuru-sama. In exchange for a few stories from Diablo, I've decided to help you out a bit. Rain said with a curtsy. Perhaps this person is really self-centered. Diablo is the same way, so it makes sense that they would get along. Oh, what else can I say? I looked at Guy in a bit of distress, but he was shaking his head, as if to say it was too late. Sorry about my idiots. No, Diablo's is also annoying, so we're in the same boat. I felt that Guy was also having a hard time, and the familiarity I had felt before grew stronger. Incidentally, Mizari, who had always kept her face expressionless, reacted unusually to Guy's words. Isn't it possible that I've always been treated like an idiot because of rain? Well, it looks like you've realized the truth. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I think that was the correct answer. But since it was not good to interfere with other people's affairs, I pretended not to have heard her murmurings. After chatting for a while, I was led to a hidden room behind the audience chamber, where the throne was located, where I set up a magic transfer circle. It weighed several tens of tons, so it would be troublesome to move it once it was installed. Then, having finished my business, I quickly took my leave. Leon seemed to have wanted me to take Diablo and Rain, but that would interfere with the mission. Even if it didn't, I had no intention of taking them with me, so I decided just have Leon put up with it. And then we began our farewells. Take care of Chloe. Leon reminded me. I didn't need to be told, so I nodded and said, I'll take care of her. Leon seemed to be convinced and gave up surprisingly well. It's a secret that I was a little surprised, because I had thought he would be more persistent in getting involved. He was a pretty cool guy, when he was behaving normally. Not only that, but a surprising truth came to light. In fact, Leon and I had the same taste. I don't mean that we're lollicans, okay? Rather, Leon's dream was to be an architect. No wonder he has a great aesthetic sense. I heard this during our chat, while complimenting the city and the castle. I was convinced, because I had already admitted that Leon's sense of style was one of the best in the world. He's rude, but is actually a good guy. That was my new opinion of Demon Lord Leon. With that feeling in mind, my relationship with Leon was improved, and my visit to El Dorado ended successfully. After returning from Leon's country, I continued to vigorously travel around the world. The purpose of this was to strengthen the cooperation with other countries, as we did not know when the enemy would attack. Because I had prepared an emergency means of transportation between demon lords, it was only natural that I should set up such means in other friendly countries as well. The first place I went to was the Dwarven Kingdom. Currently, Ajera was dispatched to Gazel. I had received a report that he was training with Gazel, so I thought I would check the results of his training. I teleported to the main gate of Dwarven. As always, there was a long line of merchants and adventurers. I walked past them to the nobleman's passage, and called out to the gatekeeper. Then, I was ushered into the royal castle without any waiting. I am still a small-time citizen, so I feel superior in such a situation. I was aware of my small stature, so I was careful not to make a big show of it. I was greeted by Gazel. I've been waiting for you, Remur. Of course, Ajira was with him. My lord, I am glad to see you are well. He kneels down grandly, and says a few words of greeting to me. It was like something out of a period drama, but very well done. And this Ajera, surprisingly, is the reincarnated form of Hakira's grandfather. I was surprised when Carrera told me about it, but as I observed him more carefully, I found that his mannerisms were very similar to mine. I remembered that I had wanted to have an interview with him, but had not had a chance to do so. It would be a good idea to talk to him after this. With that in mind, I returned the greeting. Long time no see, King Gazel. It's good to see you. And Ajera too. Hahaha. You're still so formal. As I always say, feel free to call me Gazel. Well, I'm trying to, but I get so nervous when I see you in these situations. It reminds me of the trial, and I'm still a small-time citizen after all. I can't get rid of my small-town feeling, but I think I'm cute like that. After all, it would be strange not to get nervous in front of such a big person. Pan-san and Dor-san were watching our conversation with a warm feeling. So did Saoi. Ajira interjected. From my point of view, I should do as my lord wills, but Carrera-sama would scold me if I said that. In the first place, as the ally of the alliance, you are on equal footing. You should not be shy about being in front of King Gazel, and I hope you will respond with dignity. Well, I guess I know what I'm doing. Needless to say, I understood, but I had been an office worker up until a few years ago. Unless I was angry, or focused, or caught up in some big event that I couldn't afford to be in, I would revert to my normal self. Good, I can understand Remura's feelings. Even I get nervous when I'm in front of the Celestial Emperor Omisha. Oh, so King Gazel had such a person, however. You are able to talk to the Emperor with ease, even though I am not very good at it. That's what I can't figure it out. That's right. It was so right that I couldn't argue about it. So Gazel told me to be less formal with him, and I said I would do my best. But, well, I respect him, because he's someone I can rely on somehow. It's difficult to fix this behavior. But in some cases, you give right response at the right time, so it's not that much of a problem, right? You idiot. It is in such situations that one's usual habits come out. To avoid failing on the big stage, one should always re-examine their own behavior. I was taught another lesson. Because I was often lectured like this, I tended to revert to my old behavior. Eltan also gives me a lecture sometimes, but she's always on and off. In that sense, she might just be trying to make it easier for me, and my miles can't to get along with her, though I could also be overthinking it. In any case, I kept Gazel's suggestion in mind for future reference. We moved to the parlor. With drinks in hand, we reported on our recent activities. The most important purpose of the meeting was to exchange information. So how do we avoid the war? Unfortunately, I don't think it can be avoided. I've just set up magic transfer circles between the demon lords to allow for emergency travel. One problem goes, and another one follows. To be honest, I thought it was over when Valgrind Sama became an enemy. Now that she's on our side, Michael, was it? I don't think he's the one we should be worried about now. Well, I wasn't looking to praise myself, but our forces surpass those of the Empire in its prime. In addition to that, we have demon lords, Valgrind, and even Valdor, so Gazel seems to think that we have no reason to lose. However, that is a naive perception. No, they are strong opponents. Even judging by power alone, its scale is incomparable to the Empire. I understand. I'm not underestimating them, quite the opposite actually. The opposite. I don't think I'll be able to help you, no matter how hard I try, so I've come to the point of resignation. Well, yeah, that's true. No matter how powerful Dworgen was, victory would be impossible if Elser targeted him. I can understand why he might want to give up, because the individual enemy is too strong. However, I won't let them destroy us easily. Worst case scenario, we'll be ready to take our chances. Gazel barked out, full of spirit. His resolve was unquestionably genuine. The fact that he did not run away from Valgrind made it clear that he was someone who would take on a battle he knew he would lose. While thinking of Gazel in a reassuring way, I continued my story. If you can't win, you should think of a way to win, right? Quality was more dangerous than quantity. What's worse was the fact that Velsard was hostile. This made Valdor useless. The only people who can take on Velsard properly are Guy and Valgrind. Me? I'd rather not, so I'm determined to escape at all costs. A war between true dragons is like a battle of the gods. True. That's what it feels like. But I can't just run away. Do you really think you can win? No. But I'm willing to work hard to improve my odds. Fufufu, you little bastard. Gazel nodded at me with a wry smile. The truth is that I really didn't know what I was going to until I tried, but I'll just make sure I can escape if I don't think I can win. I've tried to make myself look good, but there is no point in arguing about whether we can win or not before we have even analyzed the enemy's strength. The point is that I'm just trying to be prepared for what to do if we're about to lose. So, I need your help. Very well. I'll lend you my cooperation, and you can do whatever you want. Gazel readily agreed to my request for help. I immediately requested the installation of a magic transfer circle. Unlike the previous installations for personal use, the location of this one was also important. I'm amazed that you were able to create such a high-purity magisteel. I'm cheating on that by using my skill. Normally, I'd wait for the crafters to mature, but the enemy wouldn't wait for me. Well, I guess. You can leave the adjustments to me. I thanked Gazel and set up the magic circle for the transfer at the place he had instructed. Having successfully accomplished my goal, I moved on to chatting. So, how are the results of your training? You are the grandfather of Master Hakiru, and the founder of Abor Ryu, at Dono. You've made me realize that I still have a long ways to go. Don't be modest, King Gazel. You have already mastered the secret art of the 5 flower strikes, Gokutatsu, and are aiming for even greater heights. In the Abor Ryu, it is said that the 5 flower strikes, Gokutatsu, and above are considered secret techniques. Zakuro, pomegranate, or the Rakuzan is a high-speed slashing blow intended to be non-lethal. Yanagi, willow, or the Nananagi is a sword technique that softly parries the enemy's attack. The number of moves increases with slashes and stabs. And then finally, the highest technique is said to be attained, the Izukur, cherry blossom, or the Hakusen. It is said that this is a sword art that should be kept secret from the public, but Ajera intended to pass it on to Gazel without reserve. I heard from Hakiru that his grandfather showed him the Hakusen. Yes. It was before I was reincarnated, so I'm not sure my memory is correct, but I seem to remember showing it to him once or twice. If he was able to reproduce it, then he is undoubtedly a genius. I am ashamed to say that I am boasting about my grandson, but I am not by Kiyaraki, his grandfather. I would like to honestly praise the predecessors of the monster country. Ajira said so, shyly and proudly. No, Hakiru is my master as well. I don't feel bad about the praise, I feel happy about it. That's right. The teachings of Ajira Dono have been passed on to Hakiru Dono. When you think about it, fate really is a mysterious thing. Gazel agrees with my words and smiles happily. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy it.